It's already past the 4th of July. I hope you're having a great summer and welcome back to another little mini episode on our podcast. Today, you're going to meet Natalie Eiting, and she is from South Milwaukee School District. She's got some great tips on branding and graphics. And in chapter 8 of my book, there's a whole chapter on graphic tips and templates. So I'm very excited for you to learn some of the strategies Natalie has used. And now's the perfect time to do exactly what she's going to talk about. So I'm going to let Natalie share all the tips there. Just want to say this week, July 13th, I am joining Rise Vision for an awesome back to school social media checklist for schools webinar. Okay. If you are looking for tips on back to school social media and getting it right this school year, it's absolutely free. Head over to risevision.com/social school for edu/webinar. But I'm also going to have a link in the show notes. Okay. So if you can't remember all that, go to the show notes, but it is risevision.com/social school for edu-webinar. You can get signed up for free and you're going to get a lot of great tips. There's some freebies that are going along with that webinar as well. So make sure you get signed up for that. And now let's dig into this week's K-12 PR tip. All right, today's K-12 PR tip ties exactly to what Natalie's going to be talking about, and that is taking the time. And I want you to take action and make sure that you have some reusable graphics so that when you don't have a graphic to use, you have something beautiful that is branded to your school or school district. Those 8 things are thank you, no school, mark your calendar, important info, FYI, cancellation, weather update, and join our team. Now, you may think of others, but those are the 8 that we really recommend that you have in your toolkit, easily accessible on mobile device, on your desktop, so that you can use them. It's going to help save you time this school year when things are crazy. So let's get into our episode now that you've got that tip. And I know you're going to take action. Yes, you are. All right, let's get started. Natalie Eiting, how are you?
I'm great.
Did I pronounce your last name right?
No, but nobody ever does.
What is it?
It's Eiting. It's German.
Oh, it's Eiting, but
The
it starts with an
second
E.
vowel is stressed. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I've got Natalie Eiting here from South Milwaukee. So excited. We're going to talk a little bit about templates and graphic kits and how that makes your job a little bit easier. But to begin with, why don't you just introduce yourself and kind of explain, why you help with social media there at South Milwaukee?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, my main gig is elementary special ed teacher. And how we've divided and conquered social media within our district is we have one rep at each building who's paid a nominal stipend to post a certain times a week. And so we've got 4 elementaries, a middle and a high. And so with that, we can each generate about 2 posts a week to get content flowing. I was paid an additional very, very tiny stipend to do kind of the extras. So like if a school board meeting's coming up, the no school reminders, the more the administrative sort of pieces. And when I say nominal, I mean, people might be surprised. It's a $900 stipend to do it for the year for our 2 posts a week on Instagram and Facebook. And then it was $300 for the year to do all those extra sorts of things. So we really are teachers who are doing this as a side hustle and just trying to be as efficient as possible with our time.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long have you been doing social media for South Milwaukee?
I was with the startup. I believe that Heidi came from, I think that was January of 18, possibly.
Okay.
So I was one of the original startups, trained by social schools. And we kind of grew along with you as social media sort of changed and ebbed and flowed and platforms changed. We grew through all of your support through the group. So
yeah. And you are like many people out there that are doing social media on top of other roles, and yours is especially unique because you're a full-time teacher.
Mhm.
And so what I really wanted to focus on today was, templates, graphic kits, because some things pop up when you're sharing on social media and you don't have the picture. And, there's some things in your tool belt that you can have, so that it makes it much easier. So can you kind of explain how you've had, especially like the graphic kits, explain what that is and how you use that?
Yeah, it was a suggestion that I took from you, Andrea. It was years ago. Yeah, when you don't have the picture, but you need to post something. Um, the things like no school or school board meeting or whatever it might be. We're hiring, we're in the news, like whatever those things might be. I can't even tell you the other ones off the top of my head. I'd have to pull them up, but just taking 10 minutes and finding a really great visually appealing look with our branded colors and just being able to swap in and out the text and just getting them saved and sent off to some of the other reps so that we're going from the same content, or in just being able to put them in a quick place to just post it up, really saves, because it's those things that kind of are unique and odd, that they happen enough, but they don't happen frequently enough for you to really have a picture or something good to go with it. So
Right. And it always happens when you're probably in the middle of a class and you're like, you got to post this right away. Right.
right, or it's 8 o'clock at night, and I left my computer at the school for the day, so I've got it all in a folder, so I can run it mobile. But yeah, because there's those situations where you don't necessarily have a picture, but you still want to catch the eye.
Right.
And you want it to look good. You want it to look branded. You don't want it to look like you just put in text with one of the Hardy pictures in the background or something. So you want it to look nice, and that's really what the graphics kits and those sorts of things, it's really helped us raise the level of the quality of what we're putting out efficiently. And it keeps a similar tone, so it's not someone in another building in between their two classes quickly making a graphic that looks completely different from something I had posted the week previous. So it helps with consistency across all of our posters as well, because there's 6 people and we're getting them up as fast as we can in an efficient manner. So it really helped us just raise the level. They looked professional, and they're not. We're just teachers who like pretend like we're graphic designers, but it made it work.
Right. Yeah. And we like to use Canva. You can use other graphic designs, templates or tools. But you talked about, FYI, important information. Thank you. That's a really good one to have, right? Congratulations. Don't forget. Some of those and meeting tonight, or
We're
whatever it may be.
hiring, yeah.
Yeah,
We're
now
hiring.
hiring athletic update or a weather update are also
Disclosure,
important.
yeah. I mean, we shouldn't even reference, we're just in a staff meeting today and someone said BC before COVID. Like, I created all these BC before COVID, but they were what, in an emergency, I could pull one out, change the text and post it, and it was done and it looked official. And, so they're good for emergent situations too, if you're posting any of that through a social media platform.
Yeah, because it's always good to have an image with whatever you post out there on social media, whatever channel it's on. So you described you're able to access them mobilely. So how do you do that on your phone? What have you done to organize?
A couple of different ways, depending on, if it's something that I recently maybe changed the text on, it's sitting right in my recents in Canva. So I know, like the school board one I use all the time, because I will just simply go in and change potentially the date just so it looks a little more current. Otherwise, we are a Google school district, so they're housed in a shared Google folder so that all of our reps can get to them. That's how I generally kind of roll with it. My camera roll, I'm an Android girl, and my camera roll is just a mess. And I try not to put anything important in there. I try to put it in a house so I know exactly where it is and I'm not scrolling forever.
Sure.
I know you can heart things and favorite things. We all have our own hacks and tricks, but I'm a
Yes.
Google folder girl.
Yeah. And I think, one thing COVID did do is it made sure that we could access things, wherever we were at. One other tip, if you wanted to put it on your camera roll, is you can create folders within your camera roll. Then you could have a folder that's just made for your school. Because in my case, like when I can find them in Google, but usually I have to download it to my phone to be able to upload it on social media. So to me, having it in a saved folder on my phone is helpful, but it's whatever works for you, like you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I really love your point of, hey, if there's multiple people doing the social media, it can really give that consistent brand, that consistent look, no matter who's putting information out there. And again, a lot of times it's happening when you have no time to actually create something. It's so nice to be able to have those handy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Some other templates that I've made are just simple borders with the district logo in the bottom. So it's transparent. It's, the whole thing is transparent, but it just allows me to quickly throw something that looks branded and looks better on top of whatever picture I'm putting up. So, but turning those into logos on Canva instead of any other different way that you might create designs on Canva really helps you just slap it on top and you go, because it's sized right. It's, if you're always using a square and everything's in a square, everything fits together and looks great. So
Right.
those are
I
good too.
Yeah, I love it. Is there anything else you wanted to just talk about? I mean, we really covered a lot, and a lot of helpful things, but anything else with templates or graphic kits?
No, I just think there's a bit of a learning curve just with anything. And so if it's something that someone might be intimidated by, it's a learning curve. And once you get the hang of it, it really is a time saver in the end, because and if you want the brand to show, you want it to look professional, and just be patient, and it'll really save you time in the end.
Yeah, awesome. And yeah, it's saving your sanity is so important. Especially, I mean, you deserve a special spot in heaven already, Natalie. I know that your job teaching special education, that's a very challenging role. So you've been able to do that well and do your social media storytelling. So congratulations and thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Of course. Thanks, Andrea.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.